Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to a new cycle on Global Television coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I'm Uyi Agmofegbe, reminding our viewers that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. A federal high court in Abuja has barred politician and online publisher Moyele Sowore and others behind the planned protest for the release of Nnamdi Kanu of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra IPOB from taking their activities anywhere close to the presidential villa, Aso Rock, Abuja, and other important national institutions. Justice Mohammed Umar, in a ruling, also asked Sowore and his associates in the protest planned for October 20 to steer clear of National Assembly, Force Headquarters, Court of Appeal, Eagle Square, and Shehu Shagari Way, pending the hearing of the motion or notice filed by the police on behalf of the federal government. The academic staff of universities, ASU, says it is expecting to hear from the Ministry of Education. The union's national president, Professor Chris Piwuna, stated this in an interview in Abuja. In the meantime, the Nigerian Senate has restated its commitment to mediating the ongoing dispute between the Academic Staff Union of Universities and the federal government. This was disclosed by Chairman of the Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TED Fund, Senator Muktari Danduse, stressing the urgent need for students to return to school while negotiations continue. National Assembly correspondent Topsy Gimba has details.
Senator Danduse, who led the Senate delegation in the meeting with ASU representatives, said the engagement was aimed at finding a balanced resolution to the lingering impasse. He explained that the Senate has drawn up a mediation framework to address the crisis, which includes immediate negotiation between ASU and the Ministry of Education and NUC.
And on our resolution, the Senate is not happy that the agreement by the government to ASU has not been fulfilled.
Senator Danduse added that the Senate is determined to ensure that government commitments are met and the academic activity resumed without further delay. He said the priority is the future of the Nigerian students and the stability of the nation's tertiary institution.
We want the leadership of ASU to write all the issues they raise in our discussion so that we can pass the Ministry of Education together with them by Tuesday or Wednesday to ensure that our children are back to school.
Also speaking, Senator Karimi Sunday highlighted the progress made in ongoing negotiations. Senator Sunday stressed that the Senate would continue to push for improvements in staff welfare and educational funding.
They have agreed to increase the allowance to 35%, which they still felt they are not comfortable with, that it should go up a bit. And we spoke to them so that we can reach an agreement. Also, they talk about taxing.
In his remarks, Senator Adams Oshiomhole underscored the need for sincerity on all sides. He pointed out that issues affecting academic work, such as taxation on essential materials, could be resolved through good faith negotiations. Oshiomhole further warned that Nigeria must take deliberate steps to retain its brightest minds within the university system.
Before then, it would be nice if our children of the poor, I emphasize children of the poor, because the not so poor, their children are not here, so that they can be back to school.
Meanwhile, ASU President Professor Chris Piwuna Guson acknowledged that Senate's mediation efforts but maintained that the government's latest salary proposal remains outside the framework earlier agreed upon. Professor Piwuna reiterated that any decision to suspend strike action rests with union members.
That document that was submitted in December 2024 is one that was unattended to until we embarked on this action.
Another meeting between the union and the government is scheduled for over the weekend, with hopes that amicable compromise will be paved the way for students to return to classroom. Topsy Gimba, reporting for Global Television News.
Away from matters of education now, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has forecast sunny skies and hazy conditions across the country from Sunday till Tuesday. The agency noted that in northern Nigeria, including Katsina, Yobe, Kano, and Jigawa states, hazy mornings are expected, while the rest of the region will experience mostly sunny conditions. The central region of the country is expected to have sunny mornings with patches of clouds, followed by isolated thunderstorms with moderate rainfall in Benue, Kogi, the Federal Capital Territory, and Nasarawa in the afternoons and evenings. Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, says investment in human capital development remains a key driver of technological innovation and national growth. Speaking at the SM First Global Conference, Kalu emphasized that a skilled and educated workforce boosts productivity. It's my audio. Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, says investment in human capital development remains a key driver of technological innovation and national growth. Speaking at the SM First Global Conference, Kalu emphasized that a skilled and educated workforce boosts productivity and fosters solutions that can expand Nigeria's gross domestic product. The Deputy Speaker noted that despite economic challenges, Nigeria continues to lead in creativity and innovation, raising over $331 million in digital investments, while urging greater investment not only in connectivity, but also in creativity and capacity to ensure technology becomes a tool for transformation, not exclusion. The National Agricultural Land Development Authority, NALDA, has signed a memorandum of understanding with a private agribusiness firm, Azikin Noma, as part of its intensified efforts to boost food production through new partnerships. Speaking at the signing ceremony in Abuja, the agency's Executive Secretary, Engineer Cornelius Adebayo, explained that the agreement is strictly for the Ora Mega Farm and not for other NALDA farms across the country. Aniete Patrick has details.
Adebayo said the partnership will help fast-track operations at the Ora site, which is part of NALDA's broader initiative to establish fully serviced agricultural clusters across Nigeria, each equipped with modern facilities such as hostels, warehouses, administrative offices, and mechanization hubs. He said the Ora farm is already taking shape with thousands of hectares cleared and prepared for cultivation under the Renewed Hope Mega Farm Settlement Project, designed to boost food production and empower rural communities.
We have started the project out of Ora in Kwara State, Irele in Ekiti State, and also in Bauchi State. And we do not think we need to finish the entire 5,000 hectares before operation starts, because Ghana waits for no project launch. We do not believe that we have to complete it, then we'll call in the president to come and cut the tape before we start planting. We are trying to be proactive to make sure Nigerians get food at a cheap price.
On his part, Managing Director of Azikin Noma, Michael Adeshola, said the collaboration represents a major investment in Nigeria's agricultural transformation.
Import. We should be championing local raw materials for local markets, for whatever they want to sell in Nigeria. We have the land, we have the resources. And they said, okay, fine, we have aflatoxin problems, we have traceability problems, we have fumonisin problems. But there's no country without these problems, right? But what are the steps we are taking to solving these solutions? We need to equip our farmers with the right knowledge, the training, the extension, and all them to ensure that they meet the quality standard.
The NALDA boss reaffirmed that the agency remains open to other partnerships that align with national food security goals, but stressed that the Azikin Noma MOU applies exclusively to the Ora Farm projects. He added that similar collaborations will be developed on a case-by-case basis for other states as the Renewed Hope Mega Farm initiative expands. The MOU signing coincided with activities marking World Food Day, symbolizing Nigeria's renewed commitment to ending hunger and building resilient food systems through strategic public-private partnership. Aniete Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you so very much, Aniete. Nigeria has intensified efforts to reduce salt consumption and promote healthier eating habits as part of a broader push to combat the growing burden of non-communicable diseases such as hypertension, stroke, and heart disease. Speaking during a stakeholders' engagement on sodium reduction and front-of-pack labeling in Abuja, Special Advisor to the President on Health, Dr. Salma Anas, emphasized that cutting sodium intake and promoting clear food labeling are vital to improving national health and productivity. The meeting drew participants from the World Health Organization, Federal Ministry of Health, Network for Health, Equity and Development, Corporate Accountability and Public Participation Africa, and resolved to save lives and the private sector. Improper waste disposal in major markets and residential areas across Nigeria is raising serious concerns, with traders and residents calling for government intervention. Sadia Yakubu brings us details.
The problem is not limited to markets alone. In many residential areas, especially in low-income communities, residents dump waste in drainage channels and open spaces. These practices block waterways and worsen the flood during the raining season, creating breeding grounds for mosquitoes. Despite repeated campaigns on proper waste disposal, compliance remains low.
It's actually hazardous because, of course, when people breathe foul air, it affects them indirectly, That's why as I pass by, I have to use my handkerchief to cover my nose because, of course, I don't want to be affected by it.
Proper waste management requires collective efforts. Governments must improve waste collection systems while citizens take responsibilities for their environment.
This is very bad. It's not good for our health. Even what you're inhaling is not really good. Since in primary school they are teaching us hygiene, and we are growing up to see this. It's very, very discouraging.
Improper waste disposal is not just an environmental issue, but a health crisis. Communities need consistent sensitization and better waste collection services to reduce health risk. Sadia Yakubu, reporting for Global Television.
You're watching the live broadcast of News Cycle here on Global Television. When the rest of the news returns shortly, Israel strikes Gaza following ceasefire breach accusations. We have those details for you from the foreign scene as well as business and sports stories. Please do stay with us. The second part of this news broadcast now returns with business. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, will on Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025, conduct its Treasury Bills Primary Markets Auction PMA, where a total of 650 billion naira worth of maturing bills will be rolled over. The Central Bank says the sale will be conducted via a Dutch auction, a competitive bidding process where investors submit their interest rates and the final stop rate is determined by demand and market dynamics. The manufacturing bills being reissued on behalf of the Debt Management Office will be offered across three maturities: 100 billion naira for the 91-day tenor, 100 billion naira for the 182-day paper, and 450 billion naira for the 364-day instruments. President of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has called on Nigerians to embrace and patronize locally made products in order to strengthen the nation's economy and promote national development. He made this known when former presidential aide Reno Omokri visited him in Lagos State. Obong Usoro has details.
President of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, says increased patronage of made-in-Nigerian products would create jobs and reduce the country's over-independence on imported goods. Dangote noted that Nigeria has the capacity to produce most of the goods currently being imported if local manufacturers are adequately supported. He explained that excessive importation weakens the naira and puts pressure on the economy, while local production drives industrial growth and economic resilience.
I want to encourage all Nigerians to buy only made in Nigeria. When you buy anything made in Nigeria, you are helping to create jobs. And the only way for us to be a stronger nation is to patronize ourselves and be buying made in Nigeria only, so that we can encourage great jobs and prosperity.
The industrialists also urge government at all levels to introduce policies that will encourage production, address power challenges, and support small and medium-scale enterprises. Dangote emphasized that for Nigeria to attain global competitiveness, citizens must embrace locally made products just like other countries by prioritizing homegrown production. Ubong Usoro for Global Television.
Benue State Investment and Property Company, BIPC, has commenced juice production at its factory recently revitalized by the Executive Governor Hyacinth Alia. The milestone was marked during a successful test run of the factory located at the industrial layout in Makurdi, the state capital. Global TV Benue State correspondent Felicity Indere has details.
For years, fruit waste, particularly oranges and mangoes, has been a major challenge in Benue State, resulting in significant economic losses for farmers due to the absence of preservation and processing facilities. For farmers, the establishment of these fruit processing plants by the earlier administration aims to add value to farm produce and drastically reduce post-harvest losses.
Before then, the bag of orange was 2,000 and 1,500. But with the coming of this company, we are sure that the orange will move from here to upward. And we shall also, the farmers shall also get value for their products.
The lead technician revealed that the plant has the capacity to produce up to 4 tons of juice per hour, noting that the project would curb post-harvest losses and guarantee better returns for farmers.
And we are also going to make sure that post-harvest losses are brought to minimal, and every farmer within the state will get true value for their orchards.
After refinery processing, supposed to go to evaporator for concentration. So the capacity of the product is 4 tons per hour.
After tasting the first batch of juice, the group managing director of BIPC, Dr. Raymond Asimakaha, expressed delight and commended Governor Alia for reviving the long-abandoned factory and repositioning it for productivity.
This is a plant that we feel that with the capital injection that we're injecting in this place, we will ensure that our people have value. We will make sure that our fruits have value proposition. Farmers will begin to enjoy their money. People will begin to have work. We have been working morning and night to ensure that we show the world that it is possible that Benue is on the rising, and that is what you have today. This is the juice. And the oil, we are going to also use it and export it and have FS. The chaffs, we are also going to use it for our organic fertilizer. And just then, there's no wastage here.
The revitalization of Benfruit is among several industrial revival projects initiated by the earlier administration to drive agro-industrial growth and strengthen Benue's economy. Felicity Ndere reporting for Global Television News.
Certainly, this already feels like a juicy project now, doesn't it? Thank you so very much, Felicity. Every year, about this time, farmers across the 44 local government areas of Kano State troop into Dakata markets to trade in sweet potatoes. Global TV correspondent Idris Jibrin reports that, like many other farm produce, this year, the prices of sweet potatoes has reduced significantly.
This is called Dakata Foods Market in Kano. From here, farm produce like sweet potatoes are distributed to other states including Niger Republic. For the last couple of years, the price of sweet potatoes have gone high, largely due to Nigeria's high cost of living. But this year,
well, about take one foreign and one sports.
Owing to a current reduction in Nigeria's inflation rate.
Buy 1,000 naira is difficult for you. Now you can buy even 200 naira and go home with it. So there is a lot of reducing, a lot of payable to the customers, and even we that we are selling it.
According to traders, 100 kg bag of sweet potatoes now costs 20,000 naira, as against 30,000 naira last year. Traders say availability of the product, coupled with low impression rates, are largely responsible for the price reduction this year.
Price, everything has changed because as before, this bag that you see, we are selling about 30,000 to 35,000 naira. Now it's turned into 21,000, 19,000, even 17,000 we are selling it.
Despite this development, traders say lack of capital among farmers, high cost of transportation and government increased taxation are gradually threatening this age-long lucrative business in Kano.
One of our problems is that we have excess supply of goods, and this makes the price to go down. That is the biggest challenge.
While Nigerians continue to witness significant reduction in prices of goods and services across the country, it is however hopeful that the situation will continue to remain unchanged for the overall growth and development of the states. From Kano, Idris Jibrin, Global Television News.
Thank you so much, Idris. On the foreign scene, Israel's military has launched airstrikes in southern Gaza after both Israel Defense Forces and Hamas accused each other of violating a ceasefire. The IDF claimed Hamas fired an anti-tank missile and gunfire toward troops near Rafah, while Hamas denied the allegation and accused Israel of continuous breaches. And now time to take a look at sports for you on the news cycle here on Global Television. Manchester United manager Ruben Amorim has dismissed suggestions that the likes of Kobbie Mainoo and Joshua Zexi will leave Old Trafford in the January transfer window. Meno and Zexi are struggling for regular playing time under Amorim so far this season. And that's News Cycle for you here on Global Television. A quick reminder that we are on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We urge you to follow us as well as engage with us across social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG as well as other handles now showing on your screen. I am Uyi Agumofwebe saying a big thank you to you for watching. I'll see you again at 8 o'clock West Africa time on News Prime.